This lesson today is on exploring the powers of 10. This will help prepare us for our scientific notation unit. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is evaluate the following expressions, the following problems. We have 8 3/10 times 10. Well, we know that anything times 10, I can move that decimal and get my answer. So now I actually have 83. Easy enough. 9.5 times 100. How many zeros do I have? I've got 2, so I'm just going to jump 2 spaces, put in a 0. My new answer is 950. 38 times 1,000. I've got 3 zeros. Where's my decimal? Right there. I'm swooping 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Filling in with zeros. Okay. And then for this last one, 7.32 is times 100. Got to find my decimal point, and I'm moving 2 place values. So my new answer is 732. So what happens when you multiply a power of 10 greater than 1? So each of these powers of 10 were greater than 1. Well, we just found out that you move the decimal to the right, the number of zeros there were. So if the number was 10, we moved once. If it was 100, we moved twice. 1,000, we moved 3 times. Good. All right, so let's look at numbers of powers that are smaller than 10. Okay, 3.9 times 1/10. Well, in this case, I'm going to move my decimal to the left 1. So my number is 39 hundredths. In number 6, I have my decimal moved 2 places out of where that decimal should be, so I'm going to go left 2 places and fill in my zeros. So I have 0.28 or 28 thousandths. In number 7, 4.9 times 1 thousandth. I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3, and fill in my zeros. Notice I'm not filling in just numbers of zeros. I'm actually moving the place value. Excuse me. So then I actually have how many zeros? There are 2 there, and my 49. Okay, and then this next one, I'm going 1, 2, 3 spaces over. So from my decimal point, I'm moving over 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So I'm actually filling in 2 zeros. 0.00424. So what happens when you multiply a power of 10 less than 1? You move the decimal to the left. Important that we're going left now if it's less than 1 to match the number of digits after the decimal. Okay, and then look, how many digits were there after the decimal? 1, 2, 3. How many times did we move? 1, 2, 3. How many digits are there after the decimal? 1. We only moved one space. This is the same as dividing by powers of 10. Onto the inside of your foldable. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit here. Okay. So we have our word, our standard form, an expanded form, and our exponential form. So 10 is written as just 10. There's only one 10 there, so in exponential form we have 10 to the first power. This is this power of 10. 100, we have 100, which is 10 times 10 in expanded form. And in exponential form, this should look like 10 squared. In 1,000, we have 1,000, expanded form, 10 times 10 times 10. So we actually have 10 multiplied by itself 3 times. So then we have million. 1 million is actually 10 multiplied by itself 6 times. Which looks like 10 to the 6th power. Okay, so what's the relationship between the exponential and standard form, okay, of a power of 10 greater than 1? So here's our standard form and our exponential form. Well, you'll notice that if there's 1 0, it's to the power, or the exponent 1. There are 2 zeros to the second power. 3 zeros, it'll be to the third power. And there are 6 zeros, it'll be to the 6th power. So what's the relationship? The number of zeros the place value matches the exponent. Okay? The number of zeros matches the exponent. So now let's rewrite as a decimal multiplied by a power of 10. All right, so actually, what is the power of 10 going to be? We actually have the 1.8 times this power of 10. How am I going to write it exponentially? It's going to be 10 to the, well, how many zeros are there? 1. And 1.8 times 10, or 10 to the first power, remember, I can just move that decimal over one space. So actually my answer is 18. This next one I have 6.5 times, I need to make it to a power of 10. 10 to the, there are 2 zeros, to the second power. So I'm going to move my decimal how many times? 2 times. So I can go 1, 2. And fill in your 0. So I actually have 650. And number 3, I need to rewrite with a power of 10. So 3.2 times 10. Well, what's my power? I have 3 zeros, so it's to the third. So how many decimal places am I going to move over? From the decimal, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. The exponent and the number of zeros told me to. So I'm filling in 2 zeros. I didn't put 3 zeros on the end. I moved my place value over. So I actually have 3,200. Okay, let's check out this chart. I still have the word, now I have a decimal instead of standard, a fraction, an expanded form, and my exponents. Okay, this is an extension on one of the previous lessons that we've done. Okay, so 1/100th looks like this all the way along. Well, if it's 1/100th, it's actually 1 over, well, 10 times 10 is actually that 10 squared. As an integer exponent or a negative exponent, It's to the negative second power. Thousandth, it's going to look like 1 over 1,000, which looks like 1 over 10 times itself. How many times? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so our positive exponent would look like 1 over 10 to the, how many times did we multiply it? 3. So 10 was to the negative third power if it was an integer exponent. And then millionth, it looks like 0 point, then there's 5 zeros and a 1. As a fraction, just looks like 1 over a million. Well, how many times is 10 being multiplied by itself to get to the millionth? 6 times, as the 6 zeros in the denominator tell us. Our positive exponent looks like 1 over 10 to the, we have 6 tens to the 6th. Whereas a negative exponent, it looks like 10 to the negative 6th. What is the relationship between exponential and standard form? Well, in exponential, we have these exponents over here, and then we're looking at standard form or in the fraction. Okay, so the exponent matches the number of digits after the decimal, or the place value. Okay? So rewrite each decimal multiplied by the power of 10. So it's going to look like 4.1 times 10 to the, well, I need this to an exponent. This actually looks like to the negative first power, which means I'm just moving my decimal one place to the left. 0.41 or 0.41. This is 8 times, well, this is actually 100th, so the 100th actually looks like times 10 to the negative second. I'm going to move my decimal place then 2 times, we're going to the left. 0.08. And then 7.9, or 7 9/10 is going to be times, this is actually 1,000th. The 1,000th exponent is power of 10 is 10 to the negative third. I'm going to move my decimal 3 places to the left because it's negative. Fill in your zeros. 0.0079. Okay? This is going to go get glued on the right-hand page, 91. And this is going to go on your left-hand page. There's nothing to complete with it. The next video will give you your assignment for tonight. The code word for today, this lesson, is glue, because that's the first thing that I saw. If you have any questions about anything that we've just done, bring it to class tomorrow and we'll go over it then.